So, um, but yeah, no, Sophie Raiden, she really like the hype around her is just overrated.
Like, I get it, she's bad and all, but like, it'll take a lot for me to actually consume someone's content just because they're bad.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't get. I get that people are like down bad like that, but at the same time, you could just get it for free. You know?
Yeah, man.
Look, there was this one day I was curious. I'm like, all right, let me see what the hype's about. All I had to do was put a couple words into Reddit and boom, they were there. It's like you selling pussy, but motherfuckers are seeing it for free.
Well, here's the thing. I kind of understand where it's coming from. It's a little bit different. Porn is porn. You know what you're getting into. It's going to be graphic. It's going to be intense. It's going to be like this. The thing about an OnlyFans model is that it sort of plays into that classic telltale fantasy of the girl next door, right? You have the fantasy of the girl next door. You think, oh man, she's fine as hell. I wonder what she's on. Now you
In a weird way, it almost feels more genuine than porn.
exactly, and that's exactly what it is.
But I don't want to put OnlyFans and genuine in the
No, but
same
it's wholesome.
sentence.
It feels more wholesome in a way. Yes, it's that girl next door. It's like a real human being.
I wouldn't say wholesome, more or less just intimate. Wholesome and intimacy are two different things. Intimacy is where it's like a you-on-you connection, but wholesome is more or less something that has virtues.
But I never got intimacy from the OnlyFans model. Still, I just feel like it's. When I see the porn actors, it just looks like puppets, man.
Yeah.
I don't see them as people.
Right. No.
You know?
No.
And
You're
I'm not even just talking about women. It's not like a female objectification thing. The dudes too. Like everybody's
Oh,
just
yeah.
a caricature
Yeah.
of dick. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. No. I totally get it.
But with
It's
the
like,
OnlyFans models, it's different. It's different. It is more intimate, but it feels more human, right?
at the cost of you pay whatever they tell you that you have to pay for the month.
Exactly. But even then, that's not a bad thing. It make you feel exclusive, like you're part of a club.
Yeah.
You know, people used to pay however much money for the Playboy magazine.
So now you got little jits who think they're in like a pseudo relationship with these models.
That's
insane.
different. They always gonna think that.
And then the models are gassed up and they think that, like that they're the shit when they're not. They're just glorified campers, really. If anything, it's prostitution, but in the new age.
But you know what? I ain't mad about that.
Get the bag,
Right.
but at the same time, acknowledge you're a hoe. That's all I'm saying.
Here's another thing I've been on.
Do they not acknowledge that they know?
No, some of them don't. Some of them don't even acknowledge that they're whores.
It truly
And
pisses me off
It's different, right?
when women are talking about how, you know, this type of shit is like empowering and stuff. Let's take this back to the 1970s with, I believe it was the second wave of like the feminist movement.
Mm-hmm.
It was all focused on, oh, we want to be known for our abilities, our intelligence, all this stuff, not just our bodies. And now, showing off your body is suddenly empowering.
Well, that's true, but here's why. Third wave feminism decided the virtue of using your erotic capital. It's like sort of a sociological perspective. Erotic capital is extremely. So, right, first wave feminism is we want to vote and be humans. Second wave feminism is we want to be respected as people. Third wave feminism is more about, okay, they'll never fucking respect us as people. Let's take what we can. So that's why erotic capital is such a powerful tool, right?
But then it almost makes the second movement hold a lot less
movement
weight.
didn't work. The second movement didn't work, bro.
Well,
Women are still not respected.
you could say
like
that to a
too.
degree, but there's definitely a lot more opportunities for women now than there were in that time.
Yes, true.
I mean, you imagine telling motherfuckers that a woman was running for president in the 60s. They would laugh at your fucking face.
Yeah, true. It's true. You're right.
They
It
wouldn't
is
even
amazing.
let them get that far.
It's true.
It is amazing how far we've come, but it's almost like we're progressing, just backwards.
Exactly. Yeah,
You
it's going completely against what the second wave was about.
I feel like that's just what it has on society as a whole for both men and women, in the sense of we have so much liberation. How far do you want to move the goalpost next? Like, where does it end? Because if it doesn't have an end, eventually you're going to find yourself jumping off the cliff and moving the goalpost for so long. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I see it more like a pendulum, right? Where we're coming from I don't even know, like 1,500 years of social sexual oppression, right? At a pendulum swing, you got a hyper, hedonistic time period. Really ever started, it started in like the 20s, 1920s even, when hedonism started coming on the rise, sexual liberation for men and women both. But in this case, I guess, these days mostly women came on the rise, right? So the pendulum has to swing so far before it balances to the center. I see it like that.
Yeah.
We go through extremities, and they get more and more and more refined, until eventually we'll have some sort of balance.
Right. Hopefully, I think the takeaway from this is, hopefully when the pendulum swings back, we'll have that sense of class
Yeah.
and formal respect for ourselves,
Yeah.
and not just sell ourselves for an easy pay cut.
It's true.
Because you can get it now, but how will that affect you later?
And my thing is just like, I don't got nothing against women who do OnlyFans. I mean, shit, get a fucking bag. Motherfuckers are making millions off of it. But don't try and call it like something that it's not.
You're not an
Don't try and sit here and say that it's empowering. Don't try and sit here to say that you're like
It is.
something.
It is. I'm gonna disagree with you on that. It is empowering though.
Really?
Because how many other careers does a woman go make $43 million?
Hollywood actors?
That's true. But look at how they sexualize it.
Same with male. Not same with males.
Yeah, with superheroes, yeah, and shit like
I was
that.
gonna say with superheroes, but
Yeah.
superheroes are
But
kind of different.
that still is for the male gaze, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that looks good for the woman on screen, but you're supposed to see, as a man, you're supposed to see a superhero and be, damn, that guy's physique is superhero like.
I want to be like that.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, I remember the shit. It's gonna sound gay as hell. But Thor Ragnarok, he looked insane.
No, he-
Chris Hemsworth
no, yeah.
was in fucking insane. His body wasn't human, and it's because he was on roids, number one, and then they dehydrated him for 2 days straight. He had to go to the hospital after like that 30-second scene. Shit was crazy, but he looked inhuman. Pretty much was.
I mean, that's the point of comic books. If you think about comic books, is that they push the bounds of human physiques
Yeah.
in the sense of it's fiction. So if you're going to be fighting for long periods of time, it makes sense to have that physique
Yeah.
in the sense of what do you do to gain that?
Yeah.
You can take the easy route, which I get why, because it's a regimen of a schedule. But at the same time, for the average person, it's damn near impossible, like myself. Like, I'm trying to get rid of this gut, and I've been doing it for 3 years. Little by little, I get more off, but it's like, I still can't believe it takes this long.
Yeah. Look,
I wish,
Look, a calendar year ago, I was very big.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's tough, man. Especially if you eat a lot of processed foods. You're basically gonna starve yourself. And exercise hard.
Yeah.
Not cardio, muscular exercise. You need to build muscle because muscle is what builds the calories.
I was told to drink tons of protein shakes.
Yeah,
100%.
as much protein as you. It doesn't have
Let
to
me
be
put
shakes,
you on.
but as much protein.
Try casein protein. It's the other protein that's in milk, but instead of whey, how it's known to be fast absorbing, which is like, I'd say, I think it was like 3 to 4 hours to fully digest. This is more like 6 to 8 hours. So it's more of a sustained release. I take it at night personally, but if you like have a long time where you don't have like a meal or anything, you'll still get that sustained release of like amino acids and all that shit.
So is it protein first, then workout, or vice versa?
I mean, you could always have a little bit of protein before you work out, but it has most of its benefits after workout.
You do.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go light up a bowl.
Yeah.
All right.